Hi folks, so back to our weekly update again. A really busy week we had there. We had evening meetings, I think every day this week, and a lot of good stuff covered. I'll go through bits of that with you at least here in the interest of time. But we also had a very comprehensive 13-page document of questions and issues requiring further clarification that we sent to the minister. Again, this is in the absence of getting a seat at the table that we were promised. So, we'll be expecting responses to each of them questions. And, it's not our preferred method, but it's still, in the absence of the other, then that's all we've got to work with at the minute. So, I want to thank Lisa Hone in particular, a member of the Mike Action Group, for her work in that. She done Trojan work and pulled the most of that together. It's quite an inclusive, comprehensive document, as I say, 13 pages. We had put a lot of that together ourselves as a Mike Action Group, 100% redress team. We then put it out, basically to anybody and everybody that wanted to make comments there or had questions, and we compiled all that in there. Hence the detailed document that it is. But that's where it's at, and I think that it's right that we do that, and we await their response. And so they've got to work on their side now. The other meeting we had then this week was to do with the entire legislative process. That's important and was really good for us to get an understanding as a group, how that works. So we know it well. The general bit is that you've got the bill and then you've got the regulations. The bill itself, it starts out with a general scheme, and the general scheme gives us sort of a skeleton of what it's going to look like, and it does look and provide an opportunity for pre-legislative scrutiny. Sounds technical, but really it's where we can go through with a fine-tooth comb what it is that appears to be laid out there, and we can get our questions and any concerns we have all documented at that point in time. But you'll have the bill ultimately, which will be probably more general, but talks to the main bones and essence of the scheme then. And you have the regulations, and the regulations, the big difference that I took from it was there is a lot of scrutiny in and around the bill itself, and that gets a chance to go through the Shannon, through the dial. There is opportunity for amendments there as well that can be sought, is voted upon, all that good stuff. The regulations, on the other hand, is the one that's done behind closed doors, and that's the one that we would need to be watching like a hawk here, because we know that the last time around the 2020 scheme, the 9010 scheme that we had then, that a lot of damage was done in the 4 months that it took to put the regulations in place, and we'll certainly be watching out for that again. So, in ways you'd say the more you get into the bill, the better, because it's all above board, and it's there to be seen and it's there to be scrutinised. That said, if you put everything in there and it's too rigid, for example, if you put in numbers and rates and all that type of stuff, it has to be updated every year by SDSI. That wouldn't make sense either. So there has to be a place for both. So you want it sort of flexible enough, yet comprehensive enough. And on the other side, you want to ensure that the regulations are done in good faith here, and we need to watch them. That's the minister's sign off on them ultimately. So even if the department do decide to do anything other than the right thing with us, the minister ultimately has that call, and we will be pushing hard on him as we always do on this stuff. So we need to get this thing right this time round. That's the bottom line on it. So it was very, very good. I want to thank Owner Bryn for that, and Patrick McLaughlin for taking the time to walk us through, and both of them have extensive experience in this field. So it was good for us to know, and we're armed accordingly now. I suppose the other thing then this week was Donegal County Council, and the two priorities they had was in around the refund of the testing fees, and then the emergency works and the preparation for that. In fairness, it was Thursday morning before the regs were signed off by the Minister and the AG, Attorney General, and the details were to go to Council either late Friday evening or on Monday here coming. So that's then over to Donegal County Council then to get the job done and get it rolled out. In fairness to them, they don't see the details until Monday, so they need to work then around that. but they've a good idea what's coming down the track, particularly in the refund of the fees. So we'd expect that to get moving at least there, and I believe they'll be going for the longest outstanding ones first. So the people that's out their money the longest, that's where they would be starting to tackle this from that end instead then. So that's that. The other good news as well coming forward is that, and it's a big deal for contractors, this 25% retention was killing them. So if you had a couple of jobs going at the one time there, and you could be out 25% on both of them, and you could have been waiting, for example, this winter that you can't paint the house until you get into better weather and all that sort of stuff, and you'll get the sign off then. So it looks like that'll be reduced to 6% of the total grant, as opposed to the 25% of the entire job. So 6% of the grant will be held back for retention and waiting on the sign off. So that'll be in the new scheme. And that is good news for us, and that's a big step forward. And I believe will actually be pulled into the old scheme here too, and the assumption is that it'll roll forward into the new scheme as well. So we want to see how quickly that can be put in place, but that's what we've been led to believe here just on Friday. We're getting news of that there, so that's good news for us. The other big thing to watch this week is SCSI. Big week ahead there. We've been waiting hard. The 28th is tomorrow. So we'd expect that SCSI proposal to be with the minister, and we would hope he'll publish that right away and let us see what's in there. Now we will get to see it regardless anyway, and we'll get to see it without it being interfered with, because the copyright remains with SCSI, so it's within their rights to use it and publish it as they see fit, and they've promised us that we will get that. So we'll see it anyway. They'll, out of respect probably, and the fact that the minister had asked for this, give him his chance at it first. But if he decides to do something different, we'll see that and we'll call that out right away. Our expectations that he doesn't do anything with that, and he respects the independence of SCSI and the credibility that these guys bring to this, and they run with them rates. So that's all to do with the construction rates. We know there will be issues. The 2007 regs in there we're not happy with, but that's not SCSI's fault. That is down to the department that basically made that part of the remit for them, and we are not expecting to see the professional fees in there, which is a significant amount of money. That's the professional fees for the remediation plan, which could be up in, as I said before, averaging out about €15,000. So the department's going to have to make a line item for that, just as what they did for the rent and for the storage and for the septic tank allowance. Because doesn't look like it's going to come out as part of SCSI unless things change there in the last day or two. So, but the big thing is this is really going to determine our budget for going to rebuild our homes again. So it's a big day whenever we get this SCSI announcement out here from the minister. So that's all the heavy stuff. The lighter end of things then, Southbald Ireland. So the 4-week program finished on Thursday there. I think it was really good. It gave all the alternative build methods, it gave all the pros and cons of going down the Southbald route, and then our last Thursday one there was all the other stuff to do with heat pumps, windows, all the various bits and pieces of efficiencies and that type of stuff, and the finishing touches on houses. So that was all good, and I want to thank Southbald. I think they did an excellent job. We will probably repeat that program again when we have got some of this other heavy stuff behind us and people's headspace is right for it. We didn't have as many on as we would have liked, but anybody that was on it felt it was really of use. So that's good. And there is an exhibition in the City West Hotel in Dublin, the 11th to 13th, which is the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, 11th to 13th of March. I'll be down there myself, as will they, and there'll be different build methods there. There'll be samples of stuff so you can touch it, feel it, see what it's like, ask all the questions that's relevant. So encourage people to take the day and go down there and see how that goes. Okay, so that was it. There's a lot of stuff this week there. I'm not going to go through all the detail of it, but it's work that's going on in the background. The bottom line is we want this scheme to be right this time, coming out the other side of the pipe, and we want to do it the easy way, not the hard way. That's why we want to get the work put into it now, so that we don't have to worry about amendments and all this legislative stuff towards the end when everything's dry and all this stuff. We want to get influence in it now, and there looks to be some signs at least that we're making a bit of headway in that. So that was the good news there. So that's it, folks, for another week. Okay.